There are aircraft that seem almost unreal machines built to fly at the edge of space and move faster than most pilots could ever imagine. Among them, none are more legendary than the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird. Its incredible speed, futuristic design, and mysterious Cold War missions inspired generations of aviation enthusiasts and even became the inspiration behind the breathtaking opening scene of Top Gun, Maverick. Now, decades after the Blackbird retired, rumors and concept designs surrounding its possible successor, the Lockheed SR-72 Darkstar, are once again pushing the limits of what aviation may become. Before the SR-71 became the world's most famous high-speed spy plane, the United States relied on another groundbreaking aircraft, the Lockheed U-2. First flown in 1955, the U-2 was designed to secretly gather intelligence on the Soviet Union during the height of the Cold War. Flying at extremely high altitudes, it was initially considered untouchable. However, rapid Soviet advances in radar systems and surface-to-air missiles soon changed everything. In 1960, pilot Francis Gary Powers was shot down while flying over Soviet territory, proving the U-2 was no longer safe for deep reconnaissance missions. The U.S. Air Force suddenly needed a revolutionary aircraft, something capable of outrunning enemy missiles while remaining difficult to detect. The requirements were extraordinary. The new aircraft needed to cruise at speeds above Mach 3, fly higher than 80,000 feet, and possess an extremely low radar signature. It also required advanced electronic countermeasures, sophisticated communications equipment, and twin engines for safety during long-range missions. Designing such a machine created enormous engineering challenges. At Mach 3 speeds, the friction generated by the atmosphere would heat the aircraft to extreme temperatures. Traditional aluminum airframes would simply melt under such conditions. Engineers at Lockheed Martin therefore turned to titanium and specialized stainless steel alloys to build the aircraft's structure. Even then, entirely new technologies had to be invented, including heat-resistant plastics, advanced hydraulic fluids, special electrical wiring, and custom fuel systems capable of surviving the intense thermal stress. Cooling the cockpit also became a major problem. Unlike the North American X-15, which could briefly reach extreme speeds before landing, this new aircraft needed to sustain its velocity for long periods. Engineers even placed the landing gear wells inside fuel tanks to prevent the tires from overheating during flight. 12 competing proposals were eventually presented to the Air Force. The 12th design won approval and entered the prototype phase in 1960. A year later, a strategic reconnaissance bomber variant known as the Lockheed YF-12 was also approved, although it faced opposition from supporters of the massive North American XB-70 Valkyrie program. Despite political disagreements and technical setbacks, development continued. In December 1962, Lockheed officially received the contract to build the first production batch of SR-71 aircraft. The first YF-12A prototype flew in August 1963, demonstrating performance unlike anything seen before. But the program still faced serious problems. The titanium structure was incredibly difficult to manufacture. The aircraft required a highly specialized fuel, and the engines often sucked debris from runways during takeoff. Once these issues were solved, another controversy emerged. The aircraft's sonic boom shattered windows and frightened animals across large areas. The finished SR-71 first flew in late 1964 and officially entered service in 1966. Despite concerns about mid-air refueling, the aircraft completed tens of thousands of successful refueling operations throughout its career. It could safely cruise at speeds above Mach 3.2 while operating at altitudes exceeding 85,000 feet. Although other aircraft briefly approached similar speeds, none could sustain them for extended periods. Because of this, the SR-71 still holds the world speed record for an air-breathing manned jet aircraft. Eventually, changing military priorities and the rise of reconnaissance satellites reduced the need for the Blackbird. The aircraft was retired as the Cold War ended, although its legend never disappeared. Now, decades later, Lockheed's legendary Skunk Works division appears to be developing a successor, the State Route 72, often nicknamed Son of Blackbird. Aviation fans also recognize it as the Darkstar, thanks to its appearance in Top Gun: Maverick. Although the Darkstar aircraft shown in the film was fictional, it was heavily inspired by real-world concepts. The designation, State Route 72, naturally follows the State Route 71, and the aircraft's sleek blended-wing design closely resembles concept art released by Lockheed Martin. The movie version even featured the Skunk Works logo on its tail. One major difference, however, involves the cockpit. The aircraft seen in the movie had windows for a pilot, while most analysts believe the real State Route 72 would likely be unmanned. At hypersonic speeds approaching Mach 6, removing the pilot would reduce both risk and design limitations. Rumors surrounding the State Route 72 have circulated since at least 2007. Reports claim Lockheed Martin has been developing a hypersonic reconnaissance platform capable of flying at 6 times the speed of sound, roughly 4,000 miles per hour. Other reports suggest the company has been testing advanced scramjet engines in cooperation with Aerojet Rocketdyne. If successful, the State Route 72 could use a revolutionary propulsion system capable of accelerating from standstill to hypersonic speed using a combined cycle engine. Testing of some components reportedly began around 2017, although Lockheed Martin has remained extremely secretive about the project. That secrecy has only fueled speculation. According to producer Jerry Bruckheimer, Chinese satellites reportedly altered their orbit to photograph the Darkstar mock-up used during the production of Top Gun: Maverick, hoping to gather clues about the real aircraft's design. Experts believe the State Route 72 would be designed with stealth technology and extremely high speed, making it difficult to intercept even if detected. At Mach 6, it would be nearly twice as fast as the State Route 71, potentially becoming one of the most advanced aircraft ever built. 6 would be incredibly difficult. The aircraft would need hundreds of miles just to turn, and opening weapon bays at such speeds could place tremendous stress on the airframe. Even so, whether it is eventually called the State Route 72, Darkstar, or something entirely different, the idea of a true Blackbird successor remains one of the most exciting prospects in modern aerospace engineering. Just like the State Route 71 transformed aviation during the 1960s, its successor could once again redefine the limits of speed, stealth, and reconnaissance technology. The legacy of the Blackbird proves that sometimes reality can be even more incredible than science fiction. And if the State Route 72 ever becomes operational, the next generation of aviation history may already be taking shape in secret hangars today.